¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday. Welcome. Freya for Unity. The truth is difficult. That's why it's refreshing when it is in your face. I love the stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. Echo Wrestle Dragon. How's it going? Alio kicking things off with a tier 1 subscription. 25 months. That is a month over a year. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Plus, with that 10 extra biddies on top. Thank you. I appreciate that. Echo Wrestle Dragon. How's it going? Welcome, everybody. I hope everyone enjoyed their long weekend. I certainly was happy that we at least got some time off. It's all your fault. I love the stream, and of course, what a great chat community. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. That's what we aim for. This weekend was filled with good food, time away from work, which is important, and some chill vibes. Always good to take time away from work. True. How's it going, Stony Progressive? True. Very, very true. Honestly, this weekend was not long enough. Now that is true, true. There's always December and January holidays. True, I'm looking forward to that as well. Looking forward to more time off. How's it going, Elio? More time off is always good. So we definitely have a couple of things to talk about. The Georgia runoff has kicked off officially. It looks like turnout seems pretty good. I still expect Raphael Warnock to beat Herschel Walker. Nonetheless, if you live in the state of Georgia or know somebody in the state of Georgia, early voting has begun. So don't forget, December 6th is the official election. Let me see here. That's next, not this upcoming Tuesday, but next Tuesday is the official election. Have we discussed Nick Fuentes, Ye, and the Orange Man? You mean Donald Trump? Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Truly some disturbing stuff. Maple Leaf Dragon. With a cheer of 3 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Did you see the news that has people listening to Walker? No way. Well, can you send that to me? Wait a minute. Oh, lordy. How's it going, Maple Leaf Dragon? Yeah, if you find it, please. Jesus. Please share. Not bad. That's good to hear. I dropped the link in Discord. Okay. How do I see this? Is it just like this is a bit confusing. Oh, I see. Hello? No, I don't want Geico insurance. In the general tab, gotcha. Oh, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but this is...
Oh. Okay. Let's I think we should just start with that. Honestly, that's the kind of ads that they should have been doing all along. True. True. All right, let's take a look.
Myself from the Midas Touch Network. As early voting kicks off in Georgia for the Senate runoff election, Senator Raphael Warnock has been absolutely on fire on the campaign trail. And over the weekend, he once again released yet another devastating ad against his opponent, Herschel Walker. And the magic of the ad? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. Instead of Warnock listing all of the reasons why Herschel Walker is not fit to serve the great people of Georgia in the U.S. Senate, and trust me, there's a lot, Warnock let Walker explain for himself using his own words. But
True.
That's not all. Warnock had actual Georgia voters react in real time to Herschel Walker's insane statements. Watch this.
You ever watch a stupid movie late at night hoping it's going to get better, don't get better, but you keep watching it anyway? Because the other night I was watching this movie. Called Freak Night, or some type of night. But it was about vampires. I don't know if you know vampires are cool people.
What?
What is he talking about?
Is he serious? Is he for real?
But I'm going to tell you something that I found out. A werewolf can kill a vampire. Did you know that?
What is he talking
I never
about?
knew that. So I didn't want to be a vampire anymore. I want to be a werewolf.
Oh my gosh.
He's talking about vampires and werewolves right now.
Y'all serious about this, right?
Well,
I've been
he
telling
is.
this little story about this bull out in the field
What
with
on
6 cows.
Earth.
And 3 of them are pregnant.
There's no substance. There's nothing.
So you know you got something going on.
It makes me want to laugh, and then it makes me think we're in trouble.
But all he cared about is kept his nose against it.
Oh, only if you know this guy gets in office, right?
Fence, looking at 3 other cows that then belong to him. Now all he had to do is eat grass.
This video is ridiculous. That's 35 seconds of my life I'll never get back.
Why would I want someone like that leading the state of Georgia?
Our good air decided to float over to China.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite.
Unbelievable.
So when China gets our good air, their bad air gotta move.
Right.
It's all the same air.
Not only does it make no sense, I don't even understand what he thinks he's saying.
So it moves over to our good air space. And now we gotta clean that back up.
I sit and watch these on Twitter, and I'm like, what the heck is this guy talking about? Like, literally, what is he talking about?
He's completely unqualified for this really, really serious job.
No one's
True.
watching this and being like, oh man, that guy's got it together.
And sometimes, like, I read through the comments because I'm like, is anybody actually understanding, or are we just sitting here wasting time?
It is embarrassing. Let's call it what it is. It is
True.
embarrassing.
I'm thinking he's hiding his smartness. No.
Somebody did it just punch the button.
I think it's a risk to me and millions of Georgians to put this man in a position of power.
Let's call it
True.
what it is. This is embarrassing as hell.
I'm rhyming. True.
I mean, well, you know.
As I said, absolutely devastating. And while Walker continues to fumble, the energy on the ground in Georgia for Senator
Bipedal
Raphael
meatbag,
Warnock
how's it
is
going?
electric. Just look at how Senator Warnock's constituents reacted to when he made a surprise visit to a local bar this weekend as patrons were watching the World Cup. And take a look at this clip as Senator Warnock walks down the street shaking hands with Georgians.
Cool. Yeah, like obviously, like the gist of this is like Herschel Walker is like not qualified. All I saw clips in together, only showing the little stories, not the rest of the clips, and I got to research. Dude, trust me, there's nothing to research, my friend. That is Herschel Walker. You can find stuff online if you want, but I'm sorry. All you're gonna find is more of this. They need to get Republican voters to watch Herschel Walker clips. Unfortunately, depending on who you talk to, it might not even matter. I'm gonna be honest. it might not even matter, because they'll justify it. They'll engage in some Olympic level of mental gymnastics to say like, well, yeah, but at least he's not a communist or whatever. Yeah, I see that he's completely unqualified and probably should speak to some professional regarding mental health, but he's not he's pro-life. You know, they'll justify it. They'll justify it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he did like hold, you know, a gun to his previous partners with an S. And he obviously engaged in some domestic violence, but you know what? The Democrats are worse. Like, I don't know. These people use like whatever Olympic levels of mental gymnastics to justify it. And they will still vote for him. Don't forget election. Yeah, that was pretty funny, but that's the least of it. That's the least of it, to be honest. That's just more funny than anything. He's pro-life and paid for multiple abortions, right? Yeah, but you know, he's had a change of heart and he's now saying the correct stance by Beto. Now you know he might have done that completely hypocritically. But you know what? He's changed. He's changed. And all that matters is that we get a pro-life senator. Do you see like how I can run this? Like I can run this in my head of how conservatives think. Do you play Fortnite? No. Is there like Fortnite on stream? No. These people don't care by Pedal Meatbag. They'll run whatever mental gymnastics necessary to justify it. That's the unfortunate part. Thoughts on the B movie? I don't know what the B movie is about. It's about bees. Makes sense.
So now you might be asking yourself, well, what was Herschel Walker up to this weekend? Well, Walker, he appeared on some whacked out MAGA extremist program and said voters born after 1990 haven't earned the right to change the country, invited them to leave, and suggested that they renounce their citizenship.
Jesus.
Watch this.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Example number 245,385. Republicans are fundamentally incompatible with democracy. They don't give a shit about elections. Here we go. Give it to us, Mr. Walker, please.
Herschel, how do you feel about people that want to change America from when you and I were kids? I mean, there's, you know, we have, I guess it's 80 to 90 or 70 to 80 million people in America that were born after 1990. So these are kids who, you know, who grew up, you know, when they were 10 years of age with the real beginning of the computers and the internet at home.
The
so
best
they
movie
don't know
of
the
all
world
time.
that
I don't
we
know what that movie is.
Pre-internet. They don't know that the bullying was not really, we may have been bullied when we were kids, you know, in a class or teased and things like that, but not the type of culture that these kids have with the internet today. What do you say to those kids and those young people that are voting?
Well, first of all, they don't know that the grass is not green on the other side.
What?
They think they're somewhere better. And if they know another place is better than the United States of America, my thing is, why don't you go there or tell me, let me know who that is, because I can tell them right now there's not.
What?
I think our biggest problem is we've not shown our kids that most of the people today hadn't earned the right to change America. And what I mean by that, there's people that have died or not given their life up. There are people that have given their life up to this flag. They've given their life up for the national anthem. They've given their life up for our freedom and these liberties that we have in this country today.
What?
We're taking it for granted. Well, I don't want that to happen. And I'm saying, and I'm not being tough, I'm saying, if you know a place better, You go there, but you lose your citizenship here in the United States of America. And then when you come back, you got to come back legally, like we should be defending the border.
Yikes. That'll surely help with the Republicans' Gen Z.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay, dude. Herschel starting to make the Diamond and Silk Sisters look intellectual. No, I don't think there's anyone that could achieve that. I mean, this is just like your standard Republicans. Why, like, I don't understand, like, why people like, oh wow, they're Herschel Walker is so like incoherent and whatnot. Dude, this is your standard Republican. I don't understand like why people are so like, wow, he's so like incompetent. He's so incoherent. Yeah, perfect Republican candidate, dude.
Z problem. And in that same interview, Walker also mentioned he last played football way back in the 80s. But actually, Walker's last NFL season was in 1997. Watch this.
I don't want to go to Washington, try to make friends and hang out in country clubs. That's not Herschel Walker. I don't do that. I'm a guy to get the job done. And that's the reason I decided to run. It doesn't matter about the attacks. I said, what's happening right now is bigger than Herschel Walker. You know, and people forget, people talked about me playing football. Like, you know how long ago I played football?
They say he talks like us, right?
Back in the 80s?
Yeah, way back in the 80s. Right now, I build companies.
Georgia, the choice couldn't be more clear.
True. Oh my God. What is it? What was that saying? It's like the trees kept voting for the axe because their handle was made of wood. And it made it look like he was one of them. Or some kind of proverb like that. Michael Hassler, glasses make me talk normal. True. A-Bond with the Prime subscription for 5 months. Good to see you. Good to see you. His erection is about the people. This erection is about the people. True. Indeed. Which, by the way, early voting has started in Georgia. So, if you live in Georgia, go vote. If you don't, and you know people who live in Georgia, make sure they vote, please.
Senator Raphael Warnock is the only responsible candidate for Senate. So don't wait. Early voting is already underway.
True.
Get out there and vote Warnock by or on December 6th. Hey, if you enjoyed this...
True. All right. Good memes. Let me make sure we got everything going. There's still a few things I need to get over here. Whoa. All right. Let's get some headlines. Crypto firm BlockFi files for bankruptcy if FTX fallout spreads. Wow, surprise, surprise. Uber Giga crypto scheme continues to have ramifications. Distressed crypto firm BlockFi has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court of the District of New Jersey following the implosion of putative acquirer FTX. In the filing, the company indicated that it had more than 100,000 creditors, Jesus, with liabilities and assets ranging from $1 billion to $10 billion. In the filing, the company listed an outstanding $275 million loan to FTX US, the American arm of Sam Bankman-Fried's now bankrupt empire. A BlockFi subsidiary has also moved for bankruptcy in Bermuda concurrently with the American filing. Bermuda, like the Bahamas, has embraced crypto as a future finance, both established frameworks that deal specifically with crypto assets and digital currencies. Both Bahamas, with FTX's bankruptcy, and now Bermuda, with BlockFi, faced the first significant legal test of their crypto regulation. BlockFi's bankruptcy filing shows that the company's largest disclosed client had a balance of $28 million. BlockFi's bankruptcy, BlockFi looks forward to a transparent process that achieves the best outcome for all clients and stakeholders. Yeah. Damn, it's really weird how all these like crypto schemes just keep happening. Weird. The crypto company, which offers a trading exchange and interest-bearing custodial service for cryptocurrencies, was one of many firms to face serious liquidity issues after the implosion of Three Arrows Capital. The Jersey City, New Jersey-based company has already halted withdrawals of customer deposits and admitted that it had significant exposure to the now bankrupt crypto exchange FTX and its sister trading house, Alameda Research. We do have significant exposure to FTX and associated corporate entities that encompass obligations owed to us by Alameda, assets held at FTX.com, and an undrawn amount from our credit line with FTX, BlockFi previously said. Damn, dude. Damn, sucks. I have no sympathy. I warned them all, and got ridiculed for it. Yeah, this was bound to happen. This was bound to happen. Like, if you weren't suspect of cryptocurrency and have watched like scam after scam after scam, I don't know, dude. I heard something sad at work last week. I assisted a customer in their late 30s getting their TV service working, and unironically told me that they were glad to have Fox News back because that's all she and her husband watch all day. Oh Lord. Moment of silence for them. That's sad. Do you even need cable? Do you even need cable or TV services to watch Fox? I mean, if you have like a smart TV, I think you're able to. Oh, okay. Yeah, you do. Gotcha. Money is fake, but crypto is even more fake. Yeah, it's not even just fake. It's like designed to be like what can only be described as like a pseudo pyramid scheme, basically. If you want to like follow a podcast that does this, go to Matt Binder's podcast, Scam Economy. He does like a whole thing on it, so probably that's where I would go. Well, that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that, Maple Leaf Dragon. Shame on them for being in their late 30s. Shame on them for being in their late 30s. Cable, satellite, and or internet streaming subscription. Gotcha. I was watching the World Cup and they had a big Fox logo on it, and so I had mixed emotions. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know like where I could watch the World Cup for free. So I've just been keeping tabs on like the matches by just kind of looking at the score. Crypto basically works on faith. If it only has value as long as people believe it has value, and well, you've seen people and people are horrible. True. That's true with the dollar too. Yeah. But at least like you can make an argument that like at least the dollar has some kind of like institutional backing. And I use that in quotations. But yeah, if you want to make the argument that like money is essentially fake, then yeah, I agree with you. It's a thing we made up. Don't people have to waste computers and electricity and trade the crypto with apps? And where's the insurance for crypto? The insurance for crypto is non-existent. It's basically the wild, wild west. Good luck. Basically. And they wouldn't be wasting computers more as they would be wasting like parts, basically. It's just like it's just a pyramid scheme, basically. There's yeah, that's all there is to be said about it. BlockFi, which was last valued at 4.8 billion, is among many crypto firms feeling the pressure of FTX's collapse. In July, FTX swooped in to help BlockFi stave off bankruptcy by extending a $400 million revolving credit facility and offering to potentially buy the beleaguered lender. Sam Bankman-Fried's cryptocurrency exchange, FTX, filed for Chapter 11 in November 11th, and the contagion effect across the crypto sector has been swift. Approximately 130 additional affiliated companies are part of the proceedings, including Alameda Research, Bankfried's crypto trading firm, and FTX. The company's U.S. subsidiary, FTX's new CEO, John Ray, said in a filing with Delaware Bankruptcy Court that in his 40 years of legal and restructuring experience, he had never seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such an absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here. Yeah, well, it's crypto. Ray formerly served as CEO of Enron. Ha! That's a good meme. Yeah. I mean, if that doesn't tell you all you need to know. I saw people trying to trade crypto and it took 8 hours cash dollar and barely 3 minutes to transfer. Yeah, like crypto, crypto like trading and whatnot. It's kind of like stocks or playing slot machine. Essentially, you're gambling away. You're risking like a lot of real money. You're risking real money for the hopes of fake money becoming worth more than the real money you put into it, and then being able to extract and move and transform the fake money into real money after you've made your money, I guess. I don't know if that's if that's confusing, but yeah, crypto is confusing. It's becoming less of a safe bet. The dollar? Well, it's kind of like the Forex, only with no regulation. Yeah, there you go. That's probably a better analogy, comparison, whatever. Well, these companies are like Forex. In a matter of days, FTX went from a $32 billion valuation to bankruptcy as liquidity dried up and customers demanded withdrawals, and rival exchange Binance ripped up its non-binding agreement to buy the company. Jesus Christ. Gross negligence has since been exposed. Ray added that a substantial portion of assets held with FTX may be missing or stolen. Ho ho ho. Damn. Well. Yikes. FTX has more than 1 million creditors, according to updated bankruptcy filings, hinting at a huge impact of its collapse on crypto traders and other counterparties with ties to Bankman-Fried's empire. Well, yep, that's crypto in a nutshell, basically. How much is Bitcoin worth right now? Jesus. Not good. Just as like a marker for how things are going. Yeah. Anyways. Stay away from crypto. It only dropped 600? What, today? Maybe, today. A month ago, it was, what, like 20,000? Now it's like 16,000. Deserved? True. The Supreme Court leans toward limiting corruption prosecution in New York cases. Cool. The Supreme Court on Monday questioned whether an ex-aide to former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo was lawfully convicted on a bribery charge, as it considered two cases that could place limits on federal prosecutors in public corruption cases. Interesting. So we are looking at the idea of putting limits on federal prosecution of in public corruption cases. Cool. Yeah. I think the way to solve this is people should buy more monkey NFTs. No, that's another scam. The first case centered on whether Joseph Bercoco's conduct in taking $35,000 payment from a real estate developer when managing Cuomo's re-election campaign is covered by a federal in 2014 is covered by a federal law that requires that honest services be provided to the public. Bercoco says that because he was not working for the government at the time, he had no duty to provide honest services. Not sus at all, true. The second case involves Louis Chiminelli, a real estate developer based in Buffalo who was convicted for wire fraud for seeking to rig the bidding process for redevelopment contracts in the city. I mean, like, the definition of bribery. The literal definition of bribery. His lawyers argued that his conduct in ensuring that his company would be a preferred bidder, which involves trying to influence the selection criteria set by the state to benefit his company, did not rise to the level of fraud. Yeah, okay, dude, whatever. Justices seemed sympathetic to the defendants during both oral arguments. In Bercoco's case, a majority of the 9 justices appear concerned that allowing non-government employees to be criminally charged could draw in other influential figures in the halls of power, such as lobbyists. Damn, but like, we shouldn't be entertaining this anyways. Whatever. Conservative Justice Neil Gorsuch remarked that Washington is, quote, full of such persons. So a tacit admission that Washington is just like full of lobbyists and like, dude, that's just the way it is. That's just like normal and the way it is. If you have money, then congratulations. You have the ability to have an undue influence. Congratulations. This is just like reinforcing the idea that if you're wealthy and powerful, then like, yeah, so be it. You just have a bigger voice then. To hire these lobbyists, you just have a bigger voice. Totally normal stuff here. Liberal Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson likewise pressed government lawyer Nicole Reeves on the question of how to draw the line between unlawful and lawful influence over government. Well, the problem is the whole influence over government thing. That's the issue. How do you distinguish that person from a lobbyist? You don't. They're just legalized bribes. They're just legalized bribes. That's it. The difference between like a lobbyist and someone who is engaging in bribery, the crime, is nothing. Nothing really. It's just that one is categorized legally and one is not. But for all intents and purposes, it's the same thing. And the fact that like these justices are making comments like this is quite telling. Is quite telling. If the punishment is defined, then it's legal for the rich. True, you can make that work just to justify fines for income. Yeah, isn't there a country that does that? I think it was I want to say Norway, where your speeding fines are basically attached to your income, or are based on your income. Oh, in Germany too? Gotcha. I mean, it doesn't matter if the rich can pay it, you know, regardless of how much the fine is. Anyways. On the other hand, liberal justice Elena Kagan also seemed concerned that adopting Bercoco's argument would allow government officials to game the system by resigning from office and then take payments that would otherwise be viewed as bribes before then resuming their governmental functions. Prosecutors, yeah, it's the cost of doing business. Prosecutors say that Bercoco was only temporarily working for Cuomo's campaign when he took the payment from developer Stephen Aiello? I don't know. Who was seeking state funds for a construction project. Percoco worked as a senior aide to Cuomo from 2011 to 2016 for 8 months, except for 8 months when he ran the campaign. Percoco was convicted in 2018 on one count of honest service fraud for the real estate payment. At the same trial, he was also convicted of another count of honest services fraud and one count of soliciting a bribe for arranging for competitive power venue and energy company with business before the state to make payments to his wife. Jesus. Yeah. So basically, it's just like, effectively, if the Supreme Court says like, yeah, dude, we can't go after these people for doing obviously criminal stuff here, for taking bribes. We can't do that because then what do we do with all these lobbyists? Yeah, what do we do with all these lobbyists? Good freaking question. The fact that they think that this is just like normal, and the fact that these comments are being said is incredibly telling. And it looks like they're just going to essentially reaffirm that the concept of, well, if you have a lot of money and if you have a lot of money, then you just then I guess you just deserve a bigger voice, according to the Supreme Court. Surely the most democratic way of handling things. Yeet them out of DC. I wish. Twisty, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome. Influential evangelical group that opposed LGBTQ rights and vandalized after the Colorado mass Springs mass shooting. Oh no, the horror. A sign on the property of the Colorado-based evangelical organization focused on the family was vandalized, with graffiti reading "Blood is on your hands" and 5 lives taken, an apparent reference to the mass shooting inside a Colorado Springs LGBTQ nightclub that left 5 dead and injured 18 others. The graffiti was covered with large sheets of plastic and cardboard on Thursday afternoon. Oh no! It comes as a shock. It comes as a shock to Colorado Springs. Grieves loss of 5 people. Raymond Green Vance, Kelly Loving, Daniel Aston, Derek Rump, and Ashley Paw. After a person armed with an AR-style rifle fired into the Club Q before midnight on November 19th. Once again, like, the most notable thing about this entire story is really the response from the right wing to this story. Truly disgusting. But yeah, vandalism, like, what, graffiti? Damn, dude. That's a Chad name. Howdy. How's it going, Heat? We chose to proceed with this statement from the group claiming responsibility for the vandalism shared by a Twitter account called Colorado People's Press. Said we chose to proceed with this action because the incredible violence that focused on the family continues to perpetuate against the LGBTQ community. These 5 individuals gathered at Club Q with friends and loved ones, new and old, to be in community and grieve with lives lost to transphobia. The statement adds, calling the mass shooting an act of hate. This is no accident that this happened in Colorado Springs, a city steeped in homophobia, transphobia, and white supremacy. It's no surprise that someone did this to the city and that is home to such a hateful organization that's focused on the family. Yeah, like, these people are honestly gross. Focus on the family. Sounds like a name Colbert fans used to refer to the former president. True. Honestly, I have no sympathy for these people. Fuck these people. Like, these radical, like, evangelicals, these like radical evangelical Christians, these Christian dominionists or whatever the hell, honestly, fuck them. Don't care. I thought I wanted to go there for a minute, and they are hardcore fundies. Oh yeah, no, fuck these people. Honestly, zero sympathy. It is important to us that you understand why Focus on the Family must be held accountable for the ramifications of their hateful theology. The statement adds, pointing to the organization's support for legislation targeting transgender people, its quote falsified research, and support for so-called conversion therapy. A suspect who was reportedly tackled by club patrons before police arrived remains jailed without bond. Law enforcement agencies have not revealed Anderson Lee Aldrich's alleged motive, but the club owner and LGBTQ advocates have condemned a surge of inflammatory and anti-gay and anti-trans rhetoric and politicized harassment from right-wing and religious figures and Republican officials in the weeks and months preceded to the attack. Over the last several decades, Focus on the Family, which is based on Colorado Springs, has developed into a nationally recognized, well-financed, and influential conservative Christian ministry that has lobbied against LGBTQ rights and characterized LGBTQ identities as a particularly evil lie of Satan. Yeah, like, fuck off, dude. Fuck all the way off. I don't care, honestly. Evil Jellicles. Yeah, there you go. I thought I wanted to go there for a minute, and they're hardcore fundies. They gave so much money, a drop in the bucket, to clean that. Plus, it will convince sheeple to donate more. True. Because, yeah. The Human Rights Campaign reports the organization and its leaders continue to promote many dangerous ideas, practices, and programs that cause real harm to LGBTQ people and their families. Focus on the Family is also listed by the Southern Poverty Law Center among Christian ministries and lobbying groups that comprise the hardcore of the anti-gay movement and a primary driver of religious rights anti-gay crusade. True. I've heard about these guys. It's like Focus on the Family isn't really like a new they're not new kids on the block. They've been around for a while. Sorry, I have so much money I need to stop watching on mobile. Ha! The group has condemned the Club Q attack and urged for prayer and peace, as well as whomever was responsible for the mischievous and unwarranted defacing of property. Yeah, okay, dude. We recognize the community is hurting in the aftermath of the reckless and violent actions of a very disturbed individual. It's not like, dude, it's not just a very disturbed individual. They act as if like all these like combined like rhetoric. It's not just Focus on the Family. Like all these hardcore far right people who have essentially created the environment where it is more and more likely that someone would take this action. It's basically what effectively is stochastic terrorism. That's what these people continue to engage in. Johnny Deposit going, the right wing is manufacturing terrorists. Right. Stochastic terrorism is what it is. I've known about Focus on the Family for decades. They're creepy as hell. Yeah. They're not new kids on the block. It's more disturbing to hate someone based on clothing they wear. True. Right-wing media has blood on their hands, and Jones and Alex Jones and Tucker, Tim Pool. Yeah. All these freaking right-wing extremists who've continued to push this rhetoric. And then be like, wow, gee, golly, I don't know, how that could have happened. And, like, it's very telling, like, the response that they had to this. It's very telling that the response that they had to us. I wonder how different this is from techniques used to overthrow third-world governments. I don't know. And the left wing is manufacturing consent. True, although I don't know what that means. I'm going to be honest, Bipedal. Can you expand on that? James Dobson has been preaching this longer than I can remember. Give me 1 second. Social media wise, what do you think is the end of the funnel of the red pill content? I don't know. Eventually, it's gonna come to the point, which we'll get there, Johnny Depo. It's also gonna get to the point where people are going to be like, all right, this has gone too far, and I think it's getting there. Manufacturing consent to turn us into a police state. What? The left? What? Heard earlier today the guy's dad was interviewing where he said he had a son to be violent. He was relieved that he wasn't gay after he heard that he was involved in the shooting. At least I think it was about this one. Taught his son. Yeah. That's the guy. That's the guy. Maple Leaf Dragon. The father of this person who did this, when asked about, like, you know, what the deal was, he basically said he was relieved that his son wasn't gay, which is basically, I think, all you need to know. His grandfather, I think, was also like some Republican, either like local politician or something like that. So I mean, you know. Yeah, David Dole covered that. Yeah, there you go. Go watch the Rational National for that one. So, yeah, it's not just a very disturbed individual. It's a combination of all, like, these, like, far-right rhetoric being continued to be perpetuated, right? This is a time for prayer and grieving and healing, not vandalism and the spreading of hate. Yeah, no, fuck you. Pieces of shit. Honestly. Focus on the family. It's privileged to be one of many organizations in a city positioned to help and support the needs of struggling individuals and families. Yeah. Except for, you know, people you don't like. Yeah. We urge everyone to pray for peace, and we also pray for the individual group responsible for this mischievous son. Yeah, like they continue to like say like, yeah, you know, like, wow, that was so horrible. But like, did you see the graffiti on our thing? Damn, dude. Yeah, you know, like our continuous rhetoric, you know, continues to inspire like, you know, domestic terrorism, stochastic terrorism. But like, yeah, have you seen our defaced graffiti? The media is treating right-wing ideas and left-wing ideas as if they're both of equal value. True. Yeah, help and support the needs equals convert our way of thinking and radicalize. True. Or else you don't get the help you need. You know? Whatever song is this on, it's a banger. I'll tell you right now. It's called Best Car Smartwatch by Streambeats. Synthwave. I'm gonna take so much soap to clean that up. Yeah. Like these people, like this is the second or third time in this article. They're like, yeah, I understand that, like, a mass shooting happened, 5 people died, dozen plus got injured. But have you seen the graffiti? Have you seen the graffiti? We urge everyone to pray for peace, and we also pray for the individual group responsible for this mischievous and unwarranted defacing of our ministry's property. Yeah, dude, honestly, fuck off. That's just wild to me. Wild to me. All right. There are so many shootings that I'm afraid people will get desensitized and look at it as normal and a new normal for civil violence, and that doesn't sit well with me. Well, strap in, because if you live in the good old US of A, it's it's already like that. I mean, unironically though, like this happens like every other day.
Inflation.
Whoa. God
Jordan
dang it.
Peterson, welcome to us.
To the question of God. To
Hold
the
on.
question of...
We gotta do this. I almost forgot about this. Content warning, Ben Shapiro, alright? Give me $1 billion and I'll run an ad campaign that is gonna chill the US to the bones and turn everyone pacifist. Ha! Have you read any Chomsky? I've read like one small book. And I have manufactured consent somewhere on the queue of things that I need to read. So yeah, I have manufactured consent, and I've read The Responsibility of Something. Oh Lord, I forgot the name of the book. It's a small one. It's a short one. The Responsibility of Intellectuals, or Responsibility of Academics. What is it? The responsibility of the responsibility of intellectuals. An essay by Noam Chomsky. Yeah, that's what I've read so far. From like cover to cover. But yeah, I still have manufactured consent to read. All right, now that I've given you enough content warning, Ben Shapiro, let's talk. Hit me up.
To the question of God. And a big ridiculous question. Who's God?
Who is God? So I'm going to
First of all, if you have to like frame the question as who is God, first of all, that is an awful humanistic attribute for such an omnipotent whatever omniscience being. It's like an all-powerful being, and you're like, who is God? Incredibly humanistic, almost like it was made up by people or something. I don't know, just saying. We're 8 seconds in. All right,
I'm going to use sort of the Aquinas formulation of what God is, right? That if you...
God dang. Ben flipping it over to saying what God is.
If there is a cause of all things, not physical things, if there is a cause underlying the reason of the universe, then that is the thing we call God.
But that is physical,
So-
is it not? You can make empirical observations about what the universe, as far as we can see, on what it is, right? Like we can see stars, and we can even assess what properties they have, what kind of stars there are, what kind of galaxies. There's an infinite amount of them. They're very physical. They're very real. I don't know what Ben's talking about here.
Not a big guy in the sky with a beard. You know, like he is the force underlying the logic of the universe, if there is a logic to the universe.
Wait, but so is he? Wait, if there is a logic to the universe, or isn't there, Ben? You can't say like if there is or isn't, then that's just God. So God's just like whatever you want. God's is whatever you want it to be. Is that what you're telling us? God has a handlebar mustache. True. What? Okay. Sure, Ben.
And he is the creator in the Judaic view of that universe.
Whoa. That's interesting. We went from what God is God to he. Again, we flipped right back to like the very, very humanistic descriptions of something that is supposed to be an all-powerful, omnipotent thing, right? It's a force. And we're calling it he. All right. Cool, dude.
And he does have an interest in us living in accordance with the laws of the universe that, if you're a religious Jew, are encoded in the Torah. But if you're
So wait, what? The laws of the universe are just like whatever are in the Torah that was written by humans? But like you just talked about the creation of the universe. Like these are you talking about like the laws that are bound, like physical laws? Or are you talking about like the gobbledygook in the religious text? I think he tried to conflate that. He did a little bait and switch there. And excuse me, but I don't believe in that God. So he's going to impose his will on us because that's the only thing that's right, according to Ben. Let me rewind that.
And he does have an interest in us living in accordance with the laws of the universe.
Right, he does have an interest in accordance to us living with the laws of the universe, which of course, what he means by that is like the religious, gobbledygook that humans wrote. So that makes God an authoritarian. That makes God an authoritarian. And that kind of throws out the notion that Christians often give of like free will. Not really. He's trying to manipulate us into being, he's trying to manipulate us, essentially. God is whoever, whatever each individual believes it wants it to be. God is a construct to fill in the blanks of one's knowledge, one's personal responsibility, and one's convenient excuse to take power. In this case, it's a little bit of all of the above. Cthulhu 2024, true.
That if you're a religious Jew are encoded in the Torah, but if you're not a religious Jew, it would be encoded in the natural law by sort of Catholic theology.
Why do you think God created the universe? Or as popularly asked, what do you think is the meaning?
And if so, if it is true that just God created the universe, who created God? It's awfully convenient that your God hates the same people as you do. Yeah, because it's all carefully designed to basically be authoritarian. You can only accept this worldview imposed, by God. But really, it's me imposing it on you, right? It's humans imposing this worldview.
behind it? What's the meaning of life?
What's the meaning of life? So I think that the meaning of life is to fulfill what God made you to do, and that is a series of roles. I think that human beings, and here you have to look.
Right. God, the meaning of life is fulfilling whatever God wants. And of course, that just happens to be what I want and what happens to be written on these, like, whatever gobbledygook religious texts. Hey, that's very interesting. I wish I cared. If you want to send me anything, you can send it to me via Whispers. Festin Choi? I don't know, whatever. Right. But that's the point. You see, God's will or whatever just means do whatever I want. After the midterm election, Fox News switched briefly to messaging liberals are destroying the country. They don't know better and need to be stopped. Kind of scary. Oh, yeah, no, this is par for the course. You don't have a Whisper app. Good thing it's not an app, my friend. It's called direct messaging. If you don't know how to do that, I can't help you.
Look to sort of human nature rather than looking kind of to big questions. I've evolved something that I've really been working on, and I'm writing a book about this actually, that I call colloquially role theory. And basically the idea is that the way that we interact with the world is through a series of roles. And those are also the things we find most important and most implementable. Right? There's sort of virtue ethics, right, which suggests that if we act in accordance with virtue, like Aristotle, then we will be living the most fulfilled and meaningful life.
But according to who? What is fulfillment, my guy? What do you consider a fulfilling life? That sounds like a you problem. If you don't know how to whisper direct message people on Twitch, sounds like a you problem.
And then you have sort of deontological ethics, like Kantian ethics, that it's a rule-based ethic. If you follow the rules, then you'll find the meaning of life. And then what I'm proposing is that there's something
which
that I would
rules
call
made
role
by
ethics,
whom?
which is
Whoa, which rules made by whom? I think those are important. Your rules?
there are a series of roles that we play across our lives, which are also the things that we tend to put on our tombstones and find the most meaningful. So when you go to a cemetery, you can see what people found the most meaningful because it's the stuff they put on the stone that has like 4 words on it, right? They're like beloved father, beloved mother, sister, brother. And you might have a job once in a while, a creator, a religious person, right? These are all roles that have existed across societies and across humanity. And those are the things where we actually...
different creators? Wait, are you saying that like just religion is just another role that you play? In other words, it's made up? Whoa. Ben. Look, I have to rewind that. Hold on.
Might have a job once in a while, a creator, a religious person, right? These are all roles that have existed across societies and across humanity. And those are the things where we actually find meaning. And the way that we navigate those roles.
A creator? Like content creator? Like creator meaning like God the creator? I don't know what he's trying to tell me.
Brings us meaning. And I think that God created us in order to fulfill those roles for purposes that I can't begin to understand because I ain't him.
What? Wait. So God created us to fulfill his role, but also we have free will. What? Make it make sense. Do we or do we not have free will, Ben? And like, you can't just give a cheap cop-out by saying like, well, I don't know what's in his mind. Dude, that's very weird and very human-like characteristic. Again. I'm confident that Ben Shapiro has none of the answers to anything. No. The point I'm trying to illustrate here, Johnny Depo, is this is how you dismantle theocrats like Ben Shapiro when it comes to religion and whatnot. They freaking crumble at the simplest of questions because he can't answer them. He can't answer them. Basically, Ben Shapiro ran all the way to the end of the dialogue tree and said, well, I don't know what's in his mind. Well, that's awfully A, convenient, and B, awfully human. I had to step away, and what is he trying to sell us today? I don't know. He's trying to tell us what God is. Who is God? If you choose incorrectly, you'll get punished. Yeah, this isn't his subject matter expert on religion, as far as I know. Doesn't matter. He's out there purporting himself as an authoritative voice. Yeah, I'm gonna tear him apart.
And the more we recognize those roles and the more we live those roles, and then we can express freedom within those roles. I think that the liberty exists inside each of those roles, and that's what makes all of our lives different and fun. We all
right. You're free to be within those roles that you have been boxed into. How does that make sense? I want to see more biblically accurate Agnes with the circle of eyes. And he's trying to keep his head above water in the I am smart category. True. Not doing a fair job in there. Maple Leaf Dragon, not doing a fair job.
Parents in different ways, but being a parent is a meaningful role. We all have spouses, but how you interact that relationship is what makes your life meaningful and interesting. That is what we were put on earth to do. And if we perform those roles properly, and those roles do include things like being a creator, like we have a creative instinct as human beings.
Right, but you're saying that we essentially have no choice. We have to do these things. We have to play these roles because that's in God's interest that we do this for him, right? That's a little creepy, but okay. You can't simultaneously have what's the saying? You can't have you can't have your cake and eat it, Ben. You can't tell me that I have free will and also trying to say, well, you need to play these roles because that's just what is demanded of you by God. So is this the right-wing call to authoritarianism? The right-wing's call to authoritarianism has been banging for years now. For years. And trust me, Johnny Depp, but we'll get to this. We'll get to all of this in a second. Talking about like right-wing authority, like the right wing becoming incredibly authoritarian. This isn't even like the fact that like we have people like Ben Shapiro trying to sell us this idea or trying to like go to bat for like theocracy in this manner is just both clownish. None of it makes any sense, and B, incredibly scary because a lot of people actually listen to this guy and actually think he has something of value. People think he's actually smart, which of course he's not. He's not educated. He is. He's educated. There's a difference. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of freedom in his worldview. I think that's the. I think that's exactly the gist that I'm implying. You can't have your cake and eat it too, Ben. You can't tell me that there's freedom to do whatever, but also as long as you fit in within this little box that you need to fit in to do God's will or whatever. Yep, 1.36 billion views. What, like the entirety of his channel? I could probably buy that number. All his collective like media empire throughout the years might actually be close to that, right? I'm pretty sure. I mean, TYT has reached that number, right? And TYT is huge. So it is possible that maybe Ben's little Daily Wire thing reached that level too.
Being a creator, being an innovator, being a defender of your family, being somebody who builds up, being a social member of your community, which is something that we're built to do. If we fulfill those roles properly, then we will have made the world a better place than we inherited it, and we will also have.
According to who, Ben? Holy shit! TYT has like 20 billion views. Jesus. Very Puritanic view. Yeah, that's the point. Exactly, Freya. That's exactly what he wants. Jesus. TYT has grown a lot. 20 billion. Jeez. Oh, yeah. Daily Wire is huge on Facebook. Yep. They're like top 5 always.
Had the joy of experiencing the sort of flow they talk about in psychology, where when you engage in these roles, you actually do feel a flow.
So these roles are a fundamental part of the human condition.
Yes.
So the book you're working on is constructing a system to help us understand.
It's looking
roles.
at, let's assume that all of that's true. The real question in the book is, how do you construct a flourishing and useful society and politics?
Wait, but I don't think we got an answer to the question of who is God. Oh, we have like a minute left. Facebook is full of boomers, so it tracks true. We never got an answer to who is God, or as Ben was he was clever for like a total of like 2 seconds by saying what is God. He probably should have stuck to that one.
So it's a society level. If this is our understanding of a human being, how do we construct a good society?
Right, exactly. Because I think that a lot of political theory is right now based in either...
Wait. Constructing a good society according to whom? To you? What would that look like? Yikes. He probably just misspoke. A good society attempts to, as a society, as like a whole, as a collective, a good society tries to do the most amount of good for the most amount of people. That's not exactly what you perpetuate in your content. That's not exactly the kind of people you support, Ben Shapiro. So, I don't think you actually want a good society. I think you just want, by good, you mean society that I like, that bends to my ideology. That's good to him. That's the society that he wants. If Ben could snap his fingers and say, what ideal world I would want, it would be a theocratic authoritarian state. And people like him would be at the top in their eyes, in their heads.
J.S. Mill kind of thought, which is all that a good politics does allows you to wave your hand around until you hit somebody in the face. Or Rawlsian thought, which is what if we constructed society in order to achieve the most for the least, essentially? What if we constructed society around what actually makes humans the most fulfilled, and that is the fulfillment of these particular roles? And where does liberty come into that, right? How do you avoid the idea of a tyranny in that? Right? How do you have to be a mother, you must be a father, you must be where does freedom come into that? Can you...
Right, but like, you see, you already have to contend with that thought. The fact that you even had to kind of like nip it at the bud in case people started to catch on to what you were doing, which is what we did, which is exactly what I exposed it as such. It's like, yeah, dude, it sounds to me like you actually don't like this concept of freedom. You just want people to adhere to whatever you want, adhere to whatever you believe in, I should say. And he knows this. That's why he's like immediately 4 minutes in, he's like, wait, so before people think that this is like an authoritarian thing, let me hypothetically, let me explain. Yeah, okay, dude, sure. Let's see what kind of like Olympic levels of mental gymnastics we're gonna need to accept this. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. How's it going? I like pie.
Reject those roles totally as a society and be okay? The answer probably is not. So you need a society.
What? Wait. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to rewind that. He wants you to have the freedom to choose a lifestyle he prefers. True. That's the true freedom he wants. Yes, correct. Correct. Wait.
Where does freedom come into that? Can you reject those roles totally as a society and be okay? The answer probably is not.
So then you don't have a choice. Ben. Ah, good memes. All right, so I'm sure that in the next 20 seconds we're gonna get an explanation as to what that means.
So you need a society that actually promotes and protects those roles, but also protects the freedom inside those roles. And that raises a more fundamental question of what exactly liberty is for. And I think that both the right and the left actually tend to make a mistake when they discuss liberty.
Oh yeah, is Ben even still relevant anymore? Yes, he is. He's very, very much relevant. He's huge. Well, the Daily Wire is. A few more years and he'll be washed up with a dwindled audience. From your ears to whatever the powers that be are. But, you know, until then, here we are. So who's God again? I don't know. We're not going to get an answer. I like pie. Pretty sure we're not going to get an answer.
The left tends to think that liberty is an ultimate good, that simple choice makes a bad thing good, which is not true.
Wait, the left thinks liberty is good, so, like, yeah, dude, that's kind of bad. Okay, wait, I have to rewind that. Hold on.
Tend to make a mistake when they discuss liberty. The left tends to think that liberty is an ultimate good.
Damn, dude. Damn. The left thinks that ultimate liberty, it tends to be good. And of course, to Ben, that's a bad thing. Your ultimate ability to make your own choices and to have the ability to choose what you do with your life and with your body, to Ben, that's a bad thing. To Ben, that's a bad thing. The ability to have a choice is a problem for Ben. Let's just rewind that.
Tend to make a mistake when they discuss liberty. The left tends to think that liberty is an ultimate good, that simple choice makes a bad thing good, which is not true. And
simple choice makes a bad thing good? What does that even mean? I think he's trying to talk. He's trying to like take pot shots at the abortion argument. But yeah, Ben thinks that it's a mistake of the left to think that like liberty and giving people the right to self-determination is actually a bad thing. Giving people the right to choose is a bad thing. That's what I got from that. Yeah, I mean, indistinguishable bipedal meatbag.
I think the right talks about liberty in almost the same terms sometimes. And I think that...
No. The right's version of liberty is just doing what conforms to my worldview, which is what you're doing, Ben. That you are the definition of the right's version of liberty, which is not very much that at all. There's nothing free. There's nothing free about the society that you want, Ben, at all.
That's not true either. The question is whether liberty is of inherent value or instrumental value.
What? What does that even... What? Makes sense, Ben. For much of the right, libertarians at least, liberty means private property. I guess the right to own private property, but like even... Yeah, but even then that kind of goes... That doesn't go too far because like how do you own private property? Who gives you that right? The government, right? So, Anyways, thank you, Ben, for this insightful 5-minute word salad. Thank you. And now we are all less smart for watching this. Thank you, Ben. All right. I figured since Ben went on some attempt to try to, show off his religious credentials or whatnot, or cater to some of that audience, I figured I took a second to, dismantle that. I lost brain cells watching that. I think we're all less smart for watching this. Still no explanation of who God was. I was really hoping to get an answer. No, the closest we got was like, yeah, dude, God's like, a thing. And like some people think he's like a dude in the sky. He's not. But I don't know. Ben never gave us a specific answer. The closest is like, he's like the creator of the universe, the power, the power that created the, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, the best way to dismantle theocrats like this, yeah, it's a thing. But it's also a he. So if you multiplied God by I guess that would make him real. True.
Please clap.
I'm sorry to think Ben titles his videos with questions he doesn't answer to get people to watch the whole way through. Yeah, this is like the third video, the third like Ben Shapiro takedown that we've like gone through. Maybe, I don't know. We've done a couple, just to lighten the mood. I like to occasionally go and just dismantle some of Ben Shapiro's garbage because, well, you should. And in all of these cases, in all of these videos that we've watched, Ben Shapiro posts a question or puts a title on the video and then never actually addresses the subject of the title. This has happened the last 3 times we've done this. So you're right, the simulacra. It could just be clickbait. Ghostbuster God is the gatekeeper and the keymaster. True. All right. He's just trying to intertwine Christianity with authoritarianism. It's one and the same, Johnny Deppo. One and the same. What a Weasley little liar, dude. Still lying. Literally lying. All right. So the reason why I thought like kind of getting people to understand that like what these radical like theocrats want in terms of like authoritarianism, what these conservatives want and what they're moving towards at a very brisk pace is the idea of authoritarianism. Democracy is just not in their interest. As Ben Shapiro just told us, the left makes the mistake of thinking liberty or freedom is like the right to self-determination and the right to choose. So if that isn't ringing alarm bells as to what the right-wing ideology seems to suggest, then how about some more concrete examples? Let me preface this with what happened this weekend, or very recently. As most of you know, by now, Donald Trump apparently had a meeting with Kanye West, and apparently Nick Fuentes was also there. And the quote from Kanye that kind of stuck out, and that should be ringing all the alarm bells in the world, all of them simultaneously, is the quote that Kanye said that Donald Trump actually was impressed with Nick Fuentes. That Donald Trump was actually impressed with Nick Fuentes. For those of you in the audience, I don't think I need to remind you who Nick Fuentes is. Nick Fuentes is a very open neo-Nazi. Or honestly, I think like I think like neo-Nazi is a little bit a misnomer, because like neo implies that there's something new, right? There's nothing new about the ideology of Nick Fuentes. There's nothing new about the anti-Semitism of Nick Fuentes. There's nothing new about the Nazism coming from Nick Fuentes. So like neo-Nazi is kind of like a misnomer, but whatever. The point being is that apparently Donald Trump found him very impressive, according to Kanye West, who is also an incredibly open anti-Semite. Espousing what is indistinguishable to Nazi talking points on podcasts. And of course, he was toured around media podcast circles, of course, and where he was allowed to repeat these anti-Semitic talking points. And apparently these three had a meeting. This is incredibly disturbing, given the fact that Donald Trump is running for, fucking president of the United States. That should be tripping all the alarm bells in the world. If God created the universe, then why would he, obviously he's a man, care about the latest Apex series, species on third planet orbiting a yellow star? True! Trump is impressed by anyone who tells him he's great and the election was stolen from him. Yeah, but I don't know if it's just that. I don't know if it's just that, because, like, man, the fact that this isn't the first time that Trump's been around some questionable people, Stephen Miller was his, like, what was it? Not just his speechwriter. But he was like very important in Trump's inner circle. I don't know. It's not, it's not just that he's impressed with anybody who tells him that he's good, and that the election was stolen from him. It's not. I don't buy that. It's just that. There's too many oopsies, for that to just be like, well, it might just be the people. I don't know about that. To be fair, it's not like we have a real democracy. We have some kind of we have like a pseudo plutocracy, oligarchy, whatever you want to call it. Can a mod unblock my message? What did you say? Let me see. I don't know. I don't see it. Try typing it again. Try typing it again and maybe put like a space in between the word or something. I don't know. Automod can be a little bit weird. Just try typing it again and make a space or make a dot in between the words, or something, and try it again. I'll pay attention. Nick Fuentes is Trump's next chief of staff. Sheesh. Milo Yiannopoulos is set to help Ye in his campaign, apparently. I think the counterpoint to anti-Semitism is pointing out that billionaires are actually doing things that they're accusing Jewish people of. Make it a classist argument. Well, the thing is, like, it's a delusional conspiracy theory, Johnny Depp. Because like when you start to be like, well, what evidence do you have of this? It ends up being that, yeah, you're right. Sure. It ends up just being that, like, yeah, no shit. Rich people with a lot of power and influence have a lot of power and influence. Wow, dude. You cracked the case. But it has nothing to do with whether or not they are Jewish. But yeah, you're not gonna sway these people. Kanye West is going out there like talking about like some Black Israelite kind of nonsense. He's in a completely different alternate reality, as is all Nazis. Okay, they live in a completely alternate reality. So I don't know if there's anything that could be done there, Johnny Depp. Anyways, so I think that was a good way of prefacing this. We have like the former president of the United States, once again, being in close contacts with literal Nazis, and Kanye West, who has been out there espousing anti-Semitic Nazi talking points effectively. This person, Trump, is now running for president, which leads me to this article. Trump wants attention any kind. He cannot demand any law, method, or ordinance. Votes are not Trump's to own. It doesn't, but he may want attention, but the problem is that he's getting the attention of literal Nazis. That's the problem here, of literal Nazis. Give me 1 second. I hope to change my parents' minds. What, are they like far right or what? They're pretty far right. Well, when dealing with like family members and people that are very close, whether it be like super close friends or super close family members, if they're not going to be the type of people that are going to budge, they're not going to budge. All you can do really is just say like, hey, listen, it doesn't it doesn't have to be right now, but if you ever want to talk about it, the door's open. If you ever want to talk and address like the actual like issues here, and just kind of leave that door open. No, show no mercy. No, that's the tactic that I use for trolls. Okay, for trolls and unserious people, for trolls and people like who come in here on the internet. Yeah, that's a different story. There's no quota for that. Trump is right about draining the swamp, but not in the way he meant it. No, no, he's not. He's not intending to drain anything. Other than his followers' bank accounts, I guess. When former President Trump endorses someone, doesn't that backfire in the party in question? Maybe. I mean, ideally, we would find ourselves in the situation where, I don't know, associating with literal open Nazis, hopefully torpedoes the Republican Party even further, and hopefully begins this whole, like, I forgot who it was, who said, like, is this the end of, like, you know, the right wing or whatnot? Well, if in an ideal scenario, something like this and why it should be continuously talked about, hopefully something like this creates a backlash that would indeed end up torpedoing and any kind of hopes for the right wing and stop this train completely on its tracks. That's the hope. That's the best case scenario, Freya, is that this association, you know, Trump, Nazis, and freaking the Republican Party, hopefully that kind of just makes, hopefully they create their own end. That's the hope, because the alternative is that they actually gain power and that starts to get really scary really fast. Yeah, so I don't know. The imperative, the immediate and primary imperative is to make sure that the Republican Party is as irrelevant as possible. In other words, they must be completely as defeated as possible in every single election as possible. Make them as irrelevant as we humanly possibly can. And this is one way of doing it. You know, self-destructing. Hey, if that works, I'm not going to be picky. It helps them in the Republican primaries, but not so much in the general. Yeah, and yeah, that's true. That's very true. If the GOP self-destructs, the Dems would be in the new right-wing party. Sure. And I would rather have a situation where I would be running where I would be running to the left of the Democratic Party, right? I would love to be in a situation where we would be running candidates to the left of the Democratic Party. Remember when the GOP self-destructed in 2006 and after a few years of infighting took over the majority of the elected officials in the country? Yep. Yeah, that's the scary part, my friend. That's the scary part because, yeah, the way things started going nuts, only real populism can defeat fake populism. Yeah. Remember the Tea Party movement? True. The Democrats are technically right-wing. It's just Republicans are so wacky they end up looking left-leaning. Oh, you mean... No, I don't... Well, I don't know. Maybe. Anyways, let me segue into this article, right? The whole thing, right? The whole from... These are what these extremists, evangelicals, and theocrats like Ben Shapiro and whatnot focus on the family. All of these people, incredibly authoritarian, who, by the way, also support and would vote. Doesn't matter. Ben Shapiro would vote for Donald Trump, guaranteed. There's no scenario where Ben Shapiro would vote on a Donald Trump Biden ticket. No shot. Ben Shapiro would absolutely vote for Donald Trump, and he would do it again. So all of this to just kind of lay the groundwork for this one, because like it is incredibly disturbing that we have this party that is fundamentally incompatible with democracy, with so much power. It is very, very scary, very, very scary. Trump, done with democracy, calls on Kari Lake to be just installed as the Arizona governor because that's how we do democracy here. Just like he wanted to be installed by the Supreme Court. On Monday, Donald Trump declared that the Arizona midterm is yet another criminal voting operation and demanded that the defeated gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake be installed as governor of Arizona. Right? Of course, there's no proof of this. There's no proof that there was some kind of criminal voting operation, that there was any type of shenanigans that happened that would fundamentally change the outcome of the election. This is his direct quote. It's the neolibs and neocons that are actually scary, as opposed to the fascist. I strongly disagree. I vehemently disagree. The fascists are incredibly like on worlds scarier than the neolibs. 100%. Yeah, no evidence whatsoever. Massive numbers of broken voting machines. Again, I don't know what massive numbers is. I don't know. He doesn't really provide any evidence. Mechanics sent to fix them made them worse. How did this affect the count? Makes no difference to me. I don't know. He's literally just spewing shit out. Kari had to be taken to a Democrat area, which was working perfectly to vote. What? What does this even mean? Her opponent ran the election. This is yet another criminal voting operation. I don't know what that means. So obvious Kari Lake should be installed as governor. That's not how this works. This is almost as bad as the 2020 presidential election. Of course, it all cycles back to him, which the Unselect Committee refuses to touch because they knew it was fraudulent. Whatever. So this is really just about him losing the election. That's what this tweet is about. Much of Lake's Trump-backed campaign was centered around bolstering unfounded claims of electoral fraud. The same thing, the classic, if I don't win, it's because obvious fraud. There has been zero evidence that the election has that the results of the elections are, to be disputed. If you want to do a recount, go for it. It's not going to change the election results. Monday, her efforts are clashing with a major electoral deadline. Monday is the last day for Arizona counties to certify the results of the 2022 midterms, and several counties have held out to register challenges. Yeah, sure, dude. Challenge whatever you want. The point is, the election is done. You lost. And that's it. And this is the dangerous part of it, right? Because this is going to be every single election that these clowns lose. It's always going to be like this. The election, if I don't win, then it's fraud. And that's incredibly dangerous and damaging. This whininess is getting old and unattractive. Hopefully to the majority of this country, to the point where they overwhelmingly reject the Republican Party. That's one can hope, SV Harkin. But unfortunately, there's still a strong contingent. I'm not saying the majority, but there's a core contingent of this country that truly believes this. Neolibs are enablers, but the fascists want to abuse power. That's one way of saying it. Yeah, the fascists want to abuse power. Well, they're inherently authoritarian, but fascists generally tend to bring with them, the whole genocide thing. Yeah, I don't know about that. I kind of don't want, fascism anywhere near. So yeah, I'm gonna vote against it every single time, if I have the option to. That's just the way it's gonna go. Thank you for the follow, Renegade. But it's so weird to me that people think non-citizens should be able to vote. What? Why is that even a point? What? What does that have to do with anything? Non-citizens can't vote. What are you talking about? Under no, who is this people? Are you talking about some contingents of... Yeah, I'm sure some people think that way, but I don't know what the relevance is to what I'm talking about, is what I'm saying. What is the relevance to what I'm talking about? About the Republican Party being inherently undemocratic. The Republican Party needs to be essentially squashed politically. If you watch how individuals react to presence of psychopaths, you'll see how the populace will react to rising fascism. True. Interesting point. The fact that we have like an ex-president meeting with literal Nazis and then saying that the person he backed as governor to just be installed. I don't know. I think that is fundamentally worse and incredibly alarming. Incredibly alarming. I think that the bigger issues there appears to be a coordinated effort to get eligible people to not vote. True. True. Very true. Many will hide and hope that they're not the target, not standing up to fascism. Many will join and be henchmen, and few will stand against rising fascism. Hopefully not. Hopefully not, SV Harkin. I brought up the closure of polling places. I've brought up the closure of polling places in poor areas and long polling waits that result, and they denied my facts. True. Even though we've seen that time and time again. I'm not sure if there's ever been a presidential election in the U.S. where any candidate got more votes than the number of non-voters. What? I'm not sure there's ever been a presidential election in the U.S. where any candidate got more votes than the number of non-voters. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Hopefully we'll never get to that stage. Well, that's on us, SV Harkin. That's on us. That's on us. How much exactly are we willing to do the work to stop this right here? Will be up to us. Yeah, you have to do it early. You have to do it now. You have to do it as early as possible, which is exactly why I consistently bring this up. Why I consistently ring this bell. Because it's real. It's real, and like I don't know what other evidence that I need to bring up, other than like, I was cheated out of an election. Do you have evidence for that? No. Okay. Anyways, I should be installed as president. The governor, who is a candidate that I back, should be installed as governor. There's no such thing as being installed in a democracy. Okay? When you talk like that, you're not, you're an authoritarian. When you make statements like that, you're an authoritarian. Yes, you should not be entertained by Trump. He's not funny. This isn't, this isn't a joke, so to speak. It's not. You shouldn't be entertained by Trump. You're absolutely correct. He's kind of funny though. Just compare him to Elon. Nah. I don't find him funny. I don't find Elon particularly funny either. He's a piece of shit. You install dictators. Exactly. Much of Lake's Trump-backed campaign was centered upon bolstering the unfounded claims of electoral fraud in the 2020 election, and the former TV anchors lived up to her commitment to only accepting results that she won. Like, and this is the kind of people that he wants. This is the kind of people that he's completely okay with. I've watched organizations go psychopathic and fash when the head is a psychopath. It's a process. We saw a beginning of Trump, but luckily he lost. Well, yeah, he lost the general election, but here he is again. So it's the same. It's the same process. The same process. Make sure that someone like him does not get anywhere near power. And we just don't have to beat him. We have to overwhelmingly reject Trump, like to the point where it isn't even disputable. So that's kind of like we have to do it again, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. People like Trump have no business being anywhere near power. People like the Republican Party that are in the Republican Party, all these candidates and whatnot, all these politicians who are actively undermining whatever semblance of democratic norms. These people have no business being anywhere near power. His cult is basically is actually a bunch of other narcissists and authoritarian personalities who understand Trump and identify with him. True. What does installing a dictator look like? Well, depends. Sometimes it's violent. Sometimes it's through the process that gets manipulated. Let's say a sympathetic Supreme Court. But let's say a sympathetic Supreme Court happens to rule in a way that fundamentally destroys how we run our democratic processes by saying that, well, the states are just going to have complete and sole power as to how this is going to go, and good luck, everybody. That ruling, by the way, is coming up in a month, or less than a month now. Download dictator.exe and run the program, reboot the country when finished. True! Exactly. Yeah, Roe v. Wade. Another way is, it's using the system to dismantle basic rights, like the right to bodily autonomy and the right to self-determination. Yeah. Lake lost her bid for governor to Democratic candidate Katie Hobbs has refused to acknowledge the election results, instead filing a lawsuit requesting public records from Maricopa County that would detail which voters experienced issues casting their ballots and information regarding errors in the ballot counting. We know we won this election, and we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that every single Arizonan vote that was disenfranchised is counting. Right. Meaning every vote that's ours is correct. Every vote that isn't ours is not to be counted. MSNBC had a guy on who sounded the alarm on the state's loophole, and they shot him down, and he posted that segment himself in 2018. Jesus Christ. Damn. Absolute clowns at MSNBC. Wow. Absolute clowns at MSNBC. And here we are in 2022 looking at that case right in the face. I would really not post that in chat. Yeah. I don't want rights. True. He predicted exactly how Trump and Stone would try to steal this election. Yeah. Remember, when these people, when these people make accusations or confessions, right? The election was stolen. It's just a confession. They're the ones who actually want to steal because they fundamentally don't care, really, about elections or any type of democratic norms whatsoever, at all. They don't care. They're not interested in that. They saw their opening with someone like Trump and they took it. That's what it is. Renegade with 25 biddies. Jesus. All of you guys have been incredibly generous today. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, folks, we've got Projection is a symptom of narcissism and psychopathy. That's how they think, and they actually believe this. Yep. All right. Unfortunately, it is past 7 o'clock, so I do gotta get going. Global tyranny, wake up! Oh lordy. Global tyranny. What does that mean? Maple Leaf Dragon with 49 biddies. Jesus. You guys are incredibly generous today. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Folks, oh, to add one to the beginning. Ah, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, you can fix that, Renegade. That's up to you. You can fix that. Folks, if you guys enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. You get 5 free emotes. Not only that, those free emotes, 2 of them are from Vaquita the cat, all right? One of them was made by a fan of the channel. One of them was handmade by a fan of the channel. The same person that made the logo. So that's pretty cool. You should follow to get those free emotes, of course. Join us Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And of course, if you want to continue to support the channel and get the word out, spread the word out far and wide. We're here 5 p.m. Eastern time. Also, go to the YouTube channel. It really does help us out. Smack the big red subscribe button. And of course, thank you to all who have supported this channel financially. Thank you, Avon, for the tier 1 sub. Thank you, Alio, with the tier 1 sub for 25 months. Thank you so much. 10 biddies. Maple Leaf Dragon with a total of 50 biddies. Thank you so much. Renegade with 25 biddies. Whew. You guys are incredibly generous. Thank you all for the new follows. I appreciate that. Global Tyranny. Thank you. Renegade. Thank you. Feston Choi. Thank you. Twisty, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Echo Resto spamming that Vaquita emote. There you go, guys. Look at that. Johnny Depot. Renegade. SV Harkin. Heat. Keep spamming those emotes. Use them, use them, use them. They're free. They're free, and all you got to do is hit the follow button. Look at that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I really, really do appreciate it. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Thank you so much. Don't forget, Avon. Thank you. I love seeing the little Vaquita emotes. Aren't they so cute? Oh, also, if you want to keep up with the channel, join the Discord. Sometimes I make announcements if I have to say something about the channel or whatnot. Also, December 1st, folks. December 1st, which is this Thursday. Stream pending? Probably not, because I got to take Buddy to the vet and Vaquita to the vet. So, whew. Most likely there won't be a stream on Thursday. Hope you all enjoyed the long weekend. We'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya. We need a buddy emote. Drew! Good luck at the bed. Thank you. Ciao. Yeah, we need a buddy emote. That's true. Alright, hang tight, folks. Let's go see the good friends. Good friend of the channel, Left Flank Bets. Let's go hang out with Marcus, alright? Michael Hassler, thank you. Thank you all. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go show some love to Life Bank Bets. See ya.